Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to preserve some of my flowers. It's the beginning of November now, and my garden is getting ready for the first frost to really kill back everything. There's still quite a lot blooming though. Lots of marigolds, lots of nasturtiums. There are even some cosmos and zinnias. Before I can start to dry these or press them or hang them or preserve them in any way, I have to empty out my previous dried flowers. So I'm just gonna move this pile of fresh stuff, and then I need to unpack whatever's pressed in here should be done, and then we can put it into storage. Then we can actually use this to press the new stuff. So first, let me just undo this. All right, what have we got in here? What's so fun about pressing flowers is even though I put these in here, it's been long enough that I don't remember what it is. Like I don't remember what colors I'm gonna see. So it's always fun. Oh, pretty. So the Cosmo dried beautifully. The Impatiens didn't do great, but they didn't do terrible. They're not entirely brown. They don't really ever do well. They're very watery, but that's really pretty. I lost a petal. The Sweet Alyssum is also gorgeous. It dries perfectly. Even though this has brown on it, I do think I'm gonna keep it because I'll probably use it for like a background of something. You can cover up the brown parts with other things, but the pink is really pretty. Same goes for this one. Wow, that worked perfectly. Wow, these are so thin. Look at that. It's like nothing. Totally dry though. It feels like ribbon. And marigolds, look how perfect they are. I love marigolds. Look how beautifully they press. Isn't that stunning? I'm obsessed with that. That's gonna make such a pretty something, I don't know, bookmark? Like it looks like it's fresh. Look at, this is the same marigold. That is perfectly preserved. This is preserved weeks ago. It's crispy dry, but look at the color. It's perfect. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with this. I want this as just like a 4x6 frame. How pretty is that? Okay, this is, it has to just go away for now, but that's what I'm gonna do with that one. Another perfect one. Ah, it's so cute. These Cosmo petals are so pretty also. They're so thin. It's like thinner than a butterfly's wing. It's the, like, oh, it's so delicate. Ooh, so pretty. Oh, Cosmos are so pretty. Isn't that so pretty? Oh, this is one of the apricotas. I think that's a Daydream. It's like see-through. Do you see how thin that is? Can you hear it? It's like the thinnest tissue paper. There's a Picotee. The white is like translucent. Look at that. Another Impatient. This one didn't retain a lot of color, but it retained its form really well. Here's another one, didn't retain its color great, but the form, it's really nice. So pretty. Oh, too bad. The begonia fully lost its color. This was like a bright pink, or maybe it was a white begonia. I thought I did the pink though. No, yeah, this is the pink. Fully brown. Oh well. The Cosmos did great. So I'm just coming back from a long needed break. I took a couple of weeks off and just did some stuff for my soul, you know? And I just did a lot of things around the house for the last little while, getting things all ready for winter. And I am feeling much more centered now, and I'm getting the last of the garden buttoned up, which is why I harvested a bunch of flowers today, which is why I'm taking these flowers out of the flower press. It's all part of the same thing. So, and even though this is usually a crochet tutorial channel, I took a little break and I'm just easing back in. And I didn't know what I wanted to crochet, so I thought I'm just gonna film what I'm doing today. And what I'm doing today is removing stuff and preserving stuff. So So anyway, thanks for being here, and thanks for sticking around. I'm sorry I've been gone for the last little bit, but I'm coming back. Now let's do the next page. So these turned out really neat. These are the firecracker vine flowers. It looks like some of the flowers are coming loose from the stem, and that's okay, but that turned out really good. The yellowy part is a little bit, it looks like it's stained, but it's actually just the flower parts are showing through the petals. It's not actually stained. So that's actually really pretty. I think that'll make some very cool botanical art. Give me suggestions, please, because I have a couple of botanical art things in my house, but I have so many dried flowers, I need to figure out what to do with them. Look at how beautiful that is. Like, I just want it to be somewhere I can see it all the time. Sweet alyssum. This is one of my favorite things to dry. Do you see how detailed they are? They're so pretty. You can use these for nail art. Let me flip it over. But they're also beautiful in like flat lay pieces. Oh, so cute. All right, I'm gonna pull the rest of these off. Here's another Cosmo. And the way I'm trying to prevent them from breaking is just by tilting the page, like I'm bending the paper so that the plant part doesn't have to bend, because these don't want to bend. They will just kind of crack. Gorgeous. Doesn't that kind of look like a little lantern? Like a little flame? Or, if you flip it another way, kind of looks like an insect. Like these could be the wings. That's the head, the antenna, the legs. Like, what can we make with them? It just seems like there's so many possibilities when you look at them in different ways. But they're all so small, but I have so many to use. Alrighty, now we're getting into some sweet alyssum, which looks like it dried and the flowers that had seed pods on them, the seed pods matured while drying, which is actually very beautiful, but I will probably use those seeds if I can get them off. I'm not going to try too hard right now, though. I've saved many seeds. I don't need to be doing that all the time. Are you a plant person? Is saving seeds a whole separate hobby for you? Is having seeds a whole separate hobby for you? I feel like my collection of seeds is like the hobby, and then I have to have the garden with all of those seeds planted because I got all of the seeds, you know? Do you want to see my garden? Now that I'm talking about it, I guess I can insert a little bit of video or photos or something here for you to see. Look at all these seeds, by the way. Those are all sweet alyssum seeds. I'll just put them aside. Anyway, here's my garden not right now, but here's what it looked like this summer, and that's where I got all the flowers here. This page is awesome. These are my Jolly Jester and Naughty Marietta marigolds. So cute. This one's Naughty Marietta. That one's Jolly Jester. This one's Jolly Jester. And that one's Jolly Jester. Aren't they pretty? They look like the circus. I think that's it for my press, so that's good. Now let's move on, or should we just load up the press and then we'll move on to the next book? I think that'll be more entertaining. So yeah, let me just get the press ready for us to load in some new flowers. All right, so I want to dry more of these gorgeous marigolds. These are the tangerine gem marigolds that I collected seeds from a botanical garden. I've also got more of my Jolly Jesters here. So pretty. I don't need so much stem. There we go. Aren't they beautiful? Look how they branch out. Like, there's individual little groupings of flowers on one stem, but you can have them all together as one large stem, or you can break them apart into their individual little branches. And that's what I'm gonna do because I like how that looks in terms of its size. I don't want to be making gigantic dried things. Some of my flowers I will be drying in a dehydrator rather than in a flower press or in a dictionary, and some of them I will also just be drying by hanging upside down, but these ones are not among that group. I'll remove some of the leaves. You don't need all of the leaves to get the whole impression of the flower, you know? All right, who's next? We've got another branch here, and there we go. That's pretty full. Maybe I'll do one Cosmo. A little Cosmo here. There we go, and then I've got the next layer. All right, next I have More Jolly Jester marigold, but I'm going to remove the petals because I want the perfect petals to show up. And then I can recreate the marigold once the petals are dried separately flat. Isn't that so pretty? I don't think it's gonna dry super well, but I'm still hopeful something pretty might happen. All right, so here's our next level. And then I'll just repeat my layers and get into the next one. I think the next one is going to be all firecracker vine. Here are some of those vines. This one has a spent bloom on it. And there we go. And I'll just lay that down. Aren't these just crazy? I got these seeds from a botanical garden in Halifax, and it's what in the world? I've never seen anything like it. I think this is on my like forever grow list now because it's so fun. It's so funky looking. And the leaves are really pretty too. It covers like a whole fence by the end of the summer, and they're like grape fig leaf sort of shaped. Very pretty. And the vine is very pretty. It's like a dark vine with bright green leaves. Highly recommend firecracker vine. Okay, there's that whole page. I just want these guys to be alone. So let me get to the next page for us to load up. Now I have some cosmos, little ones. I think they'll dry pretty. I'm gonna leave them with stems so that I can create like a flower arrangement with the flattened dried ones. And then there's this one too. I'm gonna try to dry it. I think that's it for cosmos. I think that's all I'm gonna put on this page then. Just flip the side. There, pretty. All right, I wanna do another page of those marigolds. They're just so pretty. I'm gonna try and get a few of them to be flat if I can. These also smell so freaking good. They don't smell like regular marigolds, which I already love the smell of. These tangerine gem marigolds smell like citrus, but like it's very pithy or bitter citrus. It's very pleasant. It's a very pleasant smell. And it's also got that marigold smell. If you don't like that smell, then you wouldn't like this, but it has something else to it that is just, oh, it smells so yummy. Okay, there we go. Is that it for marigolds? Oh, I missed a nasturtium. So we still have some stuff blooming. For us to still have flowers blooming, I'm happy. Okay, that's all for this page. Now the next page is going to be all sweet alyssum. Let me just prep it. All right, for the sweet alyssum, I'm just going to plop them down. I'm not even going to worry about how they look because they always come out so pretty no matter what you do. Sweet alyssum is one of the prettiest dried flowers, and these colors I have are so pretty. I'm going to have to do more than one page. Look at how pretty this is. Tell me that's not the cutest. It's so lovely, and it's such a pretty color, and then look at how pretty it looks with this dark purple, and it just carpets the garden. It just like creates this overflow of these tiny little flowers. It's so pretty. Love sweet alyssum, and so do the pollinators. And it smells good. It literally smells sweet. Like when you get your head close to the plants, you can like smell a sweet flower smell. It's very pleasant. Another highly recommend for you to grow. Okay, now let me get the next page set up. I just grabbed sweet alyssum in handfuls. I was not careful about how I picked it because it's going to die soon. So I can just go grab handfuls of it willy-nilly. And I've just been making little tiny bouquets with it and putting them in tiny little vases. It's like I'm looking forward to the first frost, but looking forward in a bad way. So I guess it's dreading. Every day is like, one more day. Just give me one more day before the frost kills all the garden. And so far, the frost has held off. So thank you to the frost goblin for deferring your return to my home. All right, there's another page. I'm gonna close this one and set up another. All right, I think that's it. I think that's it for what we needed to load up. So we still have flowers that need to be bundled together so that they can dry hanging. And let me just finish closing up the flower press. All right, so now I just have to flip this over, and then I have to put weight on it and tighten all of the wing nuts down. There we go. Now over the next 2 to 4 weeks, this will compress and dry out because it's gonna just be in a dry room, and then I'll open it and do the same thing all over again. So before I go today, I still have a couple other things to show you. All right, so I have more stuff pressed in this old encyclopedia. And so there's just some loose stuff. Included in there are these pretty coleus leaves. They seem to have lost pretty much all of their color. They don't have enough pressure on them in the book, unfortunately, but they're still pretty. I will sort them at a later date. Pretty. I'm not surprised. These had a lot of white on them. White doesn't usually dry well. Oh, these ones dried nice. Not all of them, but some of them. That one looks good. Look at that. Ooh, these ones worked pretty well. I added just an extra piece of paper in the book. Those look nice. Ooh, and they feel thinner also. They must have dried out quicker. It's lovely. Lovely, lovely. Not great. Not terrible. All right, and that's it for the encyclopedia. But wait, there's more. I have a dictionary here. Should I learn how to bind a book? Should I add that? Because this thing is aging. It's starting to show its age. All right, next into the dictionary. I don't think there's anything near the beginning. Nope. More coleus. Oh, these aren't dry. That's odd. These ones aren't finished. These are not dry either. Okay. These were all put in at the same time, so that's bizarre. And these are bone dry. That is so bizarre. What can you do? If it's not ready, it's not ready. So I will repack those into the dictionary and they will just continue to sit in there for a couple more weeks. Here's another one that, do I need to learn how to bookbind so that I can use and fix this for many, many years? All right, now these are all dry and stored. I have silica packets in here, which keep out moisture. And I just want to show you something really pretty I caught a glimpse of. Look at this pansy and look at this Cosmo. These are from earlier in the season. Aren't they so pretty? Like, what am I gonna do with them? Need to find something. Okay, so that is done for now. We can close up. Look at that white yarrow. So cute. We are done with the dried stuff. And now I'm going to bundle up some of my stuff that looks nice dried, and it's going to hang upside down to dry. So I have a little celosia plume from my flamingo feather one. I have a celosia plume from just like a grocery store variety. And then a plume from a celosia spicata salmon, I think. It might be called terracotta, I don't remember. And then I've got a little verbena flower head. I'm gonna pull the leaves off of that stem. Trying to keep all the flower heads together. Then I have a blue salvia, put the flower head there. I have an apricot status. It's not all the way opened, that's okay, because it's gonna open more as it dries, just like this. And then I have some, I think this is blue vervein. It might not be blue vervein, it might be, gosh, I don't remember. It's got little blue flowers. Anyway, I thought it looked really pretty, the seed head, so I want to try drying out the stems and seeing if they look good in flower arrangements and if they like hold up if I do a spray on them or something. So this is just a test run. And now I'm gonna show you a trick that I do. I take a knitting needle and I put it with my flowers, and then I tie my yarn around the knitting needle and the flowers all the way down the stem, and it creates a perfect straight stem. So when I'm arranging these, when they're dried out and they're dried flowers, the stems are all perfectly straight, and I can fit so many more flowers into an arrangement than if I had just let them dry with their wonky stems. So these are going to lose a lot of volume in like a week as they dry out hanging upside down, the stems I mean. So I'm not doing any particular like fancy tie at this point. I'm just wrapping the yarn around the stems. In about a week, when the stems lose, I would say probably 50% of their volume, I'll retie it, and at that point I'll tie it with like a blanket stitch sort of to keep them secure. But at this point, if I were to do that, these are all gonna like fall out in about a week, but I will revisit it before that happens. There, now that can just hang upside down to dry, and then I will have a really pretty little bouquet to work with. Now I feel like I want to show you all of my dried flowers, so just hold on a sec, I'm gonna show them to you, they're really pretty. Okay, here's the dried flower arrangements you didn't ask for, but now I'm showing you. These are my straw flowers that I dried this year. I didn't get a lot of variety in color, as you can see, but the colors I got are still really beautiful. Next, I have a mixed bouquet. So that was just things that I didn't have enough to make their own individual bouquets with. Little filler extras, poppy heads from the springtime, blue salvia, some feverfew, some gomphrena, some echinacea without the flower petals, and some pretty grasses that I had growing in my backyard. These ones are all bone dry already. Next is my status. I was really pleasantly surprised to look at this as a bundle after I finished drying all of them. I thought I didn't get very much status this year. I was was lamenting that I have to plant much more next year because this year I really didn't have a lot growing. But when I look at it as a full bouquet of dried flowers, like I used other status blooms in bouquets of fresh flowers this summer, so this isn't everything I grew, but they're so pretty. It was so worth the space in the garden, and I'm gonna try and have more of them next year. Look at how beautiful that is. It's paper, it's dry, like it's completely dry. Gosh, status is so pretty. So the ones that are very beige, those are the apricot, and then the pink and purple ones are from the summer pastels. So there's kind of a group of different colors in here. Next is the yarrow, which is so cute. It's like a little flower girl bouquet. This is tons of stems. These are all dried out. You can see the colors obviously are super faded now. It's still pretty though. They're still so pretty. They just look kind of like, they look like miniatures, don't they? Like to me, it feels like a miniature hedge. Like that looks like hedges. If you sprayed this green, it's got such a beautiful texture, but it still does have really pretty color in it too. I was really lucky this year. A lot of my green stayed green. Feel good about that. Next, this one I'm considering kind of a loss, but I'm not giving up on it because I feel like it's going to be useful in arrangements, and that's marigold stems. I tried to make dried stems out of the little tiny tangerine gem marigolds and out of my larger ones. I don't know. I'm not a fan of how they look dry. I don't like how the leaves look, but I'm gonna wait to pass judgment until we're actually assembling flower bouquets because maybe it'll come in handy then. Next, this is that native verbena I have in the fresh bouquet that we just tied up. This is what it looks like when it dries. This is a whole bunch of it. It's got the little blue heads, and it kind of looks like oregano's flowers. Like they stack up on themselves like oregano, but they're blue and on a long stem, which stayed beautifully green. Love those. Next is amaranth. I grew a couple of kinds of amaranth. I did the hoppy red dye. I did coral fountains. I did spike green. I did love lies bleeding, and they dried beautifully. They do drop a lot of seeds, so I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do about that yet, but it's kind of worth it for these amazing tassels. But watch, if you like fiddle around with it at all, just me fiddling around a little bit, you can see seeds will just fall out. But isn't it pretty? Aren't the colors so fun? And it has such a cool, like, drape. Next, I did some goldenrod. It turned out okay. I don't know if I'll use it for anything. It's pretty on its own. It looks like a pretty herb hanging in Alex's office, but it didn't really, it's still pretty. I'm not passing judgment until I finish assembling final bouquets, but for now, that doesn't really do anything for me. And my last bundle is my celosia. These are so pretty, and I'm so excited to put these in the bouquets. I think they're going to bring so much just texture. Look at how fun they are. Like, what the heck? Look at the colors of these. That is so fuchsia and bright, and then there's this beautiful, like, corally salmon color. Like, look at how these things look together. Watch. Just look at this and tell me it's not. Hold on. Let me try and get everybody in the pic. Okay, while I do accept that this is a mess, look at how pretty it is, though. Look at all these flowers. The yarrow, stop it. Look at that status, the celosia. They're all so pretty and they look so good together. I'm excited to put these together. You should come back for that video. It's gonna be a Christmas tutorial because I make dried arrangements for my sisters for Christmas time. I have one more thing to show you here. These ones aren't bundled because I hadn't bundled them together yet. They were tests and they turned out so good. I don't usually try to dry zinnias or cosmos or any of the like skinny flowers, but I decided to try to dry lisianthus, which I grew this year, and zinnias, and they turned out so cool. So I put rubber bands around the flower so that it would keep that rose shape, and then I put them in my dehydrator and dehydrated them over like 3 days. It's very like time investing. You have to like invest time in it, but it's so worth it because look at how pretty this one looks. In the dehydrator again with a rubber band around it. The rubber band falls off when it shrinks, but it allows the flower to stay round rather than kind of wilting flat. They're beautiful. They literally look like roses. And the color stayed perfectly. I did the same thing with these zinnias. They shrunk so much, but I put a rubber band around the petals so the colorful side stayed facing down. Like I folded them down this way and put a rubber band around it. And then when they dried, the rubber band fell off, but now the colors are showing. Because if you try to just dry a zinnia by hanging it, this is what happens. The flower folds up. It closes up. So if you put a rubber band around it, then you can have the colorful petals. These ones are such a pretty color when they are blooming and like not dried, but they're so pretty when they're dried. Aren't they fun? I don't know how I'm gonna make them functional as dried flowers for a bouquet, like to have them not look dead, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Then I have some more of my marigolds tests. And then last but not least, a beautiful little status. So there's my dried flowers. Thanks for sitting with me while I packed up my flower press and unpacked it and then decided to show off all of my dried flowers. I hope you come back when I do the arranging, if I do that on camera. If not, I'll do it on live, so come back for that. And thanks for letting me just sort of show you what I've been up to. Click the thumbs up. It helps the channel, and I've been off for a little bit, so I'd really appreciate the engagement. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you next time. Bye!